Here we go. I think my camera's moved. What's up everyone, I'm Damon Reed and this is Race Department. A few weeks ago I gave my first impressions of the Fanatec CSL DD and I went through my thoughts and differences about the difference of the 5nm versus the 8nm experiences. If you want to watch that video after, the link is above me now, either in that corner or that corner. And I'll post a link within the description of this video, and I'll put it on the end card of this review so there is no excuse not to watch it. However, a warning before you watch that video though, my teleprompter wasn't working and so I had to read the script off a monitor, and I thought I got away with it if it wasn't for you kids, as I used plenty of B-roll, but not... Unfortunately, you guys did see it. Thank you all so much for pointing out the obvious, especially these people. Anyway, about the Fanatec CSL DD. This could be the first video you're watching about this wheelbase, and so I'll go through a few quick details. It's available from the 30th of November 2021 and you can pre-order it now. This CSL DD is available with a default power supply that delivers 5Nm of torque. And you can get it with a boost kit, which is essentially a larger power supply that ramps up the power to 8Nm. With the default power supply, the CSL DD is £350, and with the boost kit, it's £480. If you wanted to buy the default version and upgrade later, this is possible, and the boost kit retails at £150. But if you choose to go with this route, it will work out a little bit more expensive. And whilst we're on the subject of cost, neither of these prices include pedals or a steering wheel. If you're on Xbox, you will need Fanatec compatible pedals which plug into the back of the wheelbase, and the CSL DD is compatible with all current and future Fanatec wheels. Buying a new wheel will set you back £200 at the very least. For that price you can get the very lovely McLaren GT3 V2 or the WRC wheel, yes, which in my opinion are both very good wheels. So, the CSL DD on a desk or table. In order to do that you'll need to buy something else, unfortunately, the CSL DD table clamp, which will set you back a further £30. That means if you went to the Fanatec website now and purchased the CSL DD in its cheapest form, to work on a desk or a table, you would be parting with the following: £350 for the CSL DD in its default form, £200 at least for a steering wheel, and £75 for the CSL pedals, and of course £30 for the table clamp, totaling £655. And if you went for the boost kit version, you would be parting with £815. Way more than the eye-catching £350, but considerably less than most, if not all, direct drive wheelbases. To fit the CSL DD to a table, it is relatively simple. The clamp fits in the same grooves as the T-nuts that you get with the CSL DD. The fitment is very snug, and during my testing I noticed no flex or movement from the clamp. To fit, you simply slide the wheelbase onto the clamp, place it on a table or desk and start tightening the clamp. You also get an additional wheel which provides you with more purchase so that you can tighten the clamp even further. In the footage you just saw, that was my dining table that I fitted the CSL DD to, but for my test today I'm going to be fitting it to the beast behind me. This is the fabled IKEA Freddy, or Freddy? Popular with gamers and sim racers alike, is an extremely durable and sturdy yet affordable desk. And please note that IKEA are not sponsoring this video. I purchased the Freddy years ago. For this review I needed to come up with a way to visually show you the vibrations and stress a desk would be exposed to. After all, direct drive wheelbases deliver power in a completely different way to a belt or gear driven wheelbase. I could have come up with something complicated or convoluted to do this, but I didn't do any of that. No, I chose Kylo. Anyway, let's jump over to the desk and get this party started. Grow up. Okay. Ferrari. F2004. Classic Monza. Can't get much better than that, surely. Right, first banked corner with 100% force feedback, 100% gain in 5 Nm form. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It's not the most. It's not the, obviously not the strongest force feedback I've ever felt. But yeah, there's definitely a kick. I'm going to do this one-handed. And as you can see, everything is shaking. There's a lot of dampening going on with my arms. Right, how's Kylo doing? We come on to a straight. Damien should check on the back corners. Anyway, I'm impressed so far with everything really. The clamp, I have to say, is incredibly tough. There's once the CSL DD is clamped to the table, there's no flex at all. The only flex is coming from the actual desk. I've got no wings because I wanted straight line speed, so there's a lot of understeer. Yeah, look, that's the flex, but that is literally my desk. But I'm really impressed with this. There's a lot of detail still coming through, even with 100% force feedback. It's oh, understeer. I'm dead. Okay, we're back. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Guess there's times where you're going to lose detail because everything's cranked up. But yeah, there's just so much feel. I'm really surprised, to be perfectly honest. Very surprised. It feels good. Wouldn't recommend doing this, of course. If you want that level of information across the board. But as an experiment, just to see if your desk can handle it, I recommend trying to go for it. Okay, let's one-handed. There you go. That's how much vibration's going through. Little Kylo. Right, we are back in the 8 Nm form. Same track, same car. Now, this is the first time I've tested it. I swear I have not done any other takes with 8 Nm. So, literally, I'm going to tell you how I feel about it as I drive. So, everything's, again, 100%, 8 Nm form this time, and let's go. So at the moment, doesn't feel any different. And then, oh, yeah, there's a lot of difference now. I don't know if you can, I'm sure the camera's shaking. Kylo's shaking. I'm going to show you in a second. Right, I'm going to show you how much dampering my arms are doing. Here we go. I think my camera's moved. Anyway, wow. Okay, so it's definitely something that happens as you come off that back corner. There's so much more detail coming through at 8 Nm. My desk so far seems to be taking, you know, it's over a long period of time. I don't know if it would last, but it's definitely fun. Definitely fun to try out. Blimey! I'm gonna brake early. I don't know why. Why did I brake so early? God, so powerful. Again, just because it's on 100%, there is a lack of feel in mid-corner, absolutely. But, whoa. There's a point when you turn into a corner and you want to hit that apex, and yeah, the force feedback is so strong that it stops you getting there. Yeah, it's sort of like a preemptive. It's got to be a preemptive strike almost. I could feel my whole upper body moving. This is really, really cool. Back into the back corner. My God. Look at Carlo going. Little head. Okay, so what are my thoughts of the two driving experiences? Both variations were impressive, and I want to make it clear that I did drive both with what you would consider typical settings and not just at 100% force feedback. In terms of flex and movement, though made of plastic, the clamp feels strong and more than capable of managing 8 Nm of torque. What struck me about this experience was the amount of movement I had in the next level racing Challenger rig I used to use previously. There's some movement in the rig and that dampens the feel that you get from the CSL DD. So previously I said I wouldn't choose the 5 Nm default version due to lack of feeling overall. However, this is partly down to my entry level rig. Fitted to a desk, I got way more feeling than I remembered. Unfortunately, I no longer have the CSL DD because I would have loved to have tried it on a more rigid rig like the one I'm sat in today. My general opinion of the CSL DD in 5 Nm form has changed, and I'm extremely surprised to tell you that the desk/table experience was way better than an entry level rig. That may have been obvious to some people, but it went by me. No! What struck me even more so was the 8 Nm version and how much the intensity came through sat at my desk. I was impressed by it on my old rig. I would have loved to have given it a go on this one. The strength of the force feedback and the level of communication was so impressive sat at my desk. I just know it'd be so much better on a really good rig. What I've learned from this though has confused me a little, and I'll do my best to explain why. If I was starting out in sim racing all over again and I was on a tight budget, I don't know where I would prioritise where I spent my money. A desk like that one costs roughly the same as a budget rig, and from what I've learnt over the last few weeks, the desk provides a better experience. However, at 8 Nm, my next level racing Challenger rig could handle the power. Though it wobbled and vibrated and did various things, it's mostly metal, so it could handle it. I don't believe a desk would hold up over a longer time and would probably start to fall apart. Remember how much it was vibrating with everything turned up to 100%? So on one hand, you have a better driving experience with the desk, certainly in 5 Nm form, but in my opinion, it's not strong enough for a budget rig due to the flex that you get from that rig. Then on the other hand, you have a more durable experience on the budget rig with the 8 Nm boost kit. And then there's so many more variations to this issue around budget. For instance, if you can stretch to £600 or £700 to an aluminium profile rig like this GT Omega, then you could get away with the CSL DD in 5 Nm form if that's all your budget could stretch to. The rigidness is that a word? Would help communicate the information provided by the 5 Nm wheelbase. This issue is only an issue if you're on a budget. You may not have one, or the CSL DD is way inside what you can afford, and if you're in that boat, whoopee-doo-dah for you! On a slightly different but closely related subject, I've also had the fortune of testing the CSL pedals with the additional clutch kit. I was very impressed with the build quality. They are constructed with steel and felt way more expensive than the £75 price tag. The base allows for adjustments so you can have the pedals in different locations, allowing for spacing between the pedals if that's what you need. They use Hall effect sensors, which means that they measure the pedal position with magnets. The system is contactless and so it won't wear with any use. And from what I understand, the technology is different to other budget pedals, as they measure voltage resistance and have been known to wear out over time. The pedals you can see have the additional clutch kit fitted and metal pedal faces. The pedal faces look a lot better than the standard plastic faces and offer a larger surface area. I tried to heel and toe a few times in the plastic faces and found even with my size 10s that I struggled more so than I should have. Overall, I was very impressed, but they aren't perfect. The brake pedal is way too soft for my liking. There's a rubber bung at the base of the brake pedal, which I would be looking to replace at the first opportunity if they were my own pedals. Either that, or I would consider buying the load cell kit, which currently isn't available to pre-order. From what I understand, you get a whole new pedal, which means that you can move the current brake pedal over and use that as a clutch pedal. I hope you found use in what I've gone through with you today. Personally, I'm a little confused about what would be the ideal solution for someone on a very tight budget. So I hope that you have taken something useful from this review, which hopefully helps you with your buying decision. If I've edited this video correctly, you should now see the initial review I did for the CSL DD by now. It should be located somewhere over there. And remember, before you add another comment about looking at the camera, I'm fully aware, but seriously, I appreciate people watching these videos, and if I've said something that you disagree with or even agree with, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. I've been Damien Reed. See you soon.